Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. My wife says she wanted some salmon this Sunday. So I said, well, you know what? We haven't had salmon in a while. So let me go ahead and whip some up. And, I thought I'd have some red creamer potatoes. She had bought from a vegetable stand on a road where they were selling fresh squash and string beans. So I said, well, she had them in the freezer downstairs, not the freezer, but the refrigerator in the basement. I said, well, don't keep them down there. We might forget about them. Let's cook them all. So I said, well, what kind of meal am I going to cook for us with just those ingredients? And so Sunday came, and you see a picture of it here. But I'm gonna step through, I guess, the prep for this and how I cooked all of this stuff. And it wasn't really that difficult, but prep time, you take a little prep time, you do everything, cut things up and stuff, clean all the stuff. And it takes a little while. Before I go into that, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, because I do go live on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday I have a sports show, so I go live then. So if you just want to listen to some sports talk from just regular people, a couple of my fellows come up. You could be in the chat. If I get to know you, I might even invite you up from time to time. So that's Wednesday, 7 o'clock, every Wednesday. I'm up to my 45th episode coming up this week. And it's Eastern time, of course. And we just chop it up. We talk a lot of sports. A lot of people like to talk sports. We don't have to be Stephen A. Smith to get our points across on YouTube. That's the beauty of this channel. And of course, anytime I feel like ranting, I'll go live and talk about a random subject, because I do own this channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. So it really runs the gambit. Depends on my mood. But getting back to this, I'm going to show you some prep time, or some prep on what I do to put these dinners together. And you can go back to my channel, because I do, maybe every other week, sometimes once a month, sometimes twice a month. I go through these things with different dishes. And so you can go back through my videos and see some of the recipes I put together. And as a matter of fact, I encourage you to do that. So some of them are fun, and you might want to go ahead and try some of this stuff yourself. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start the process, and just follow me. I'm not going to take that long. They're really still shots. I'm not like showing you how I'm putting it together and all that kind of stuff. That kind of production value I'm not doing, but I just stepped through some slides. All right, here we go. All right, so usually I just take out the pots and the pans that I'm gonna use and just put them out there so it's just like part of the prep. So these are the things I was gonna use. They're little, that's real simple. Just get things out. So I don't have to go search for them when I'm in the middle. All right, so here's the squash and the string beans. I got some vegetable wash, and these are red creamer potatoes, and I wash it. I wash all the stuff off real good before I start cutting. And then I rinse them and wash them again after I cut them, by the way. All right, so here's the string beans. I cut those tips off, cut the tips off. I discard all the tips. And again, I put this back. Then I wash them again. Did the same thing with the squash. Cut all the squash up. Just cut off the edges. There's the potatoes. Cut all of those up. These potatoes are good too. I like these. All right. So picture both of them together. So like I said, I just stepped through all of this. When I did this, I went back to the sink and I washed them off again. I had some mushrooms. These were some baby bellas that I put in there because I'm going to use the mushrooms with the squash and the string beans. I just a stick of butter in there. All right. So here it goes. You can see the squash and the string beans in the pot. Then I had the potatoes in a separate pot. At one point, I was going to mix the potatoes with this, but I said, well, let me just do something with the potatoes by itself. All right, so I have salmon. Now this salmon I cut into like 5 pieces. I have some orange, some onions, and I'll show you what I did with those. All right. Well, actually, underneath, took some pictures out, but underneath this, I cut up those onions and I squeezed lemon juice, not lemon juice, but the orange juice all over the salmon. And then I seasoned it, so I didn't add all those pictures. So this is just the finished product. I cut up some peppers. If you can see the onions and the peppers underneath this. And then, well, I cut that one salmon up into, 6 pieces, 6 nice-sized pieces, by the way. It was a pity. That was like a 2.5 pound, 2.6 pound salmon that I got from Costco. Okay, so the salmon was good. So I make sure I don't overcook salmon either. Make sure you don't overcook it. So I put this in the fridge waiting for me when it was time to put it in. So I have to time my meals, just right. All right, so this is like the finished product. The potatoes, by the way, I put a couple of sticks of butter in there on a low heat and let those potatoes just, stew in that, cook in the butter because everybody likes butter on their potatoes. So I said, well, instead of putting water in there, why don't we cook it? I just put a tad bit of water in there, put those sticks of butter in there, and the potatoes softened up and they were really buttery, right? Like people like to put butter on the potatoes. Well, I cooked this in butter, right? So it really tastes good. I seasoned the zucchini and the string beans to taste. And of course, the salmon came out just right. Just right. It wasn't overcooked. It was just real flaky. And so just here's how I plated. My plating skills suck, but you can see just the right amount of potatoes and the vegetable medley and the salmon. Guess what? Nobody had to use any salt. It's not too salty, so we're cutting down on the salt and stuff like that. But all the seasoning is just right. I put, rosemary and thyme and a few other things in just about everything I have. So you get a little bit of those herbs and stuff in there. So it was all good. So there you have it. I mean, just quick meal. The prep time took longer than the cook time, really. And but I suggest it's the prep that puts all the love in the cook. And one of the things I try to do is make sure when I cook any meal that it's all timed so it's all warm and hot, or all hot when it's time to serve it, all at the same time, so I don't have to reheat anything. So it takes a little bit of skill to do that. But that's what it is. That's why the salmon was the last thing to put in there. Put the salmon in the oven for a little less than 30 minutes at 350. Came out really nice. All right, so that was it. So leave it there. Let me stop sharing this. And I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I just come up with things after a while to say, okay, what do we want for dinner this Sunday? Then I'll just go through my little mental cookbook and I'll find some things. And I always try to challenge myself to come up with something new. I may stick with the fish for a little while because I've had the lamb, I've had steak, we've had chicken, gizzards, we had smoked a lot of stuff. Today I didn't smoke anything. So I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but whatever I do, I'll share it with you guys. And if you have some ideas, put in a comment what you might want to see me do. Don't try to get crazy and with some crazy names, But I have some ideas. I might do another salmon dish, yeah, I just may do that. We'll see. we'll see. Anyway, our pain, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out.